So this all started about a year ago. I, 32 male, have been married to my wife Emily, 30 female, for 6 years. We met in college, hit it off immediately, and our relationship moved quickly from there. Everything seemed perfect. We both had decent jobs, a nice house in the suburbs, and were even talking about starting a family. I thought I had it all. Emily was my world. We shared a deep connection, or so I thought. We traveled together, laughed together, and supported each other through thick and thin. She was my best friend, my confidant, and my partner in every sense of the word. Little did I know, the foundation of our marriage was slowly being eroded by deceit. My brother, Ryan, 34M, was always the golden child. He was charming, successful, and the favorite of our parents. While I struggled to make a name for myself, Ryan was effortlessly excelling. He was set to inherit the family business, a prestigious law firm that my father had built from the ground up. Growing up in his shadow was hard enough, but I never imagined how deep his betrayal could go. Things began to change subtly. Emily started working late more often, always had her phone glued to her hand, and became increasingly distant. At first, I dismissed these as just the stress of work. She had just received a promotion, and with it came more responsibilities. I wanted to be supportive, so I didn't question her late nights and frequent business trips. But then, one night, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed. Normally, I wouldn't invade her privacy, but my curiosity got the better of me. I picked up her phone and saw a message from a guy named Mike. "Can't wait to see you again tonight. Last night was amazing." My heart dropped. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I scrolled through the messages, and it was clear they had been seeing each other for months. The explicit nature of some of the texts left no room for doubt. I felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and overwhelming sadness. How could she do this to us? As I delved deeper into the messages, the truth hit me like a freight train. Mike was a code name. The man she was cheating with was my brother, Ryan. That night, I confronted Emily. She initially tried to deny everything, but the evidence was irrefutable. Eventually, she broke down, admitting to the affair. She claimed it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, but the trust was shattered. I moved out the next day and filed for divorce. The confrontation was brutal. We yelled, cried, and hurled accusations at each other. She tried to justify her actions, saying she felt neglected and unappreciated. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I had always been there for her, always supported her, and this was how she repaid me. The woman I loved had become a stranger, but confronting Ryan was another beast altogether. I went to see him, rage boiling inside me. He was calm, almost nonchalant about the whole thing. "You never deserved her," he said coldly. "You were always second best." His words cut deeper than any knife. Losing my wife was bad enough, but the hits kept coming. During the divorce proceedings, it became clear that Emily was going to fight for everything. Despite the evidence of her infidelity, she had a better lawyer, and I ended up losing the house and a significant chunk of my savings. I felt like my life had crumbled around me. I moved into a small apartment and sank into a deep depression. Friends and family tried to support me, but I felt alone. The place we called home was now just a memory, and I was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered life. The financial strain added to my stress, and I found myself spiraling into a dark place. I had lost not only my wife, but also my sense of security and stability. To add salt to the wound, my parents sided with Ryan. They believed his lies, that Emily came onto him, that he tried to resist. They said I was overreacting, that family comes first. Their favoritism was never more apparent than during this time. It felt like I was losing not just my wife, but my family too. As I wallowed in my misery, I started to reflect on our relationship. Was it possible that I had contributed to Emily's affair? Maybe I wasn't as attentive as I thought. Maybe I had become complacent, taking her for granted. I remembered times when she tried to talk to me about her feelings, but I brushed her off, too absorbed in my own world. I started to question everything. Had I been a good husband? Was Emily's affair a result of my failures? I couldn't shake the feeling that somehow I had driven her into Ryan's arms. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Emily had always been open about her needs, and maybe I hadn't been listening as closely as I should have. Despite my doubts, I couldn't just let her get away with it. I needed to do something. Emily had always been very particular about her image, especially on social media. She portrayed our life as perfect, with lots of photos and posts about our happy marriage. I spent weeks gathering every bit of evidence I had of her infidelity. Screenshots of texts, photos, and even videos from our home security system. Then, I created a fake Facebook account and started friending everyone in her circle, friends, family, coworkers. Once I had a decent following, I posted everything, with a detailed explanation of what had happened. The backlash was immediate. Emily's pristine reputation was ruined. She was humiliated publicly, lost a lot of friends, and even had to deal with HR at her job because it turned out that Ryan was a co-worker. She was eventually let go from her position due to the scandal. Watching her world fall apart was strangely satisfying. I felt vindicated. The woman who had caused me so much pain was now experiencing her own downfall. But as time passed, I realized that revenge, while sweet, didn't bring me the peace I was searching for. Revenge was sweet, but it didn't fill the void in my life. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was partly to blame. I started going to therapy, hoping to find some answers, but instead I found more questions. My therapist suggested that maybe Emily's affair was a symptom of deeper issues in our marriage, issues that I had a hand in creating. Through therapy, I realized that holding on to anger wasn't going to help me move on. I needed to forgive, not for her sake, but for mine. It was a long process, but I slowly started to let go of the bitterness. Therapy sessions were intense, often bringing me face to face with my deepest fears and insecurities. But they were also cathartic, helping me rediscover my sense of self. As I continued to reflect, I began to see patterns. Times when I was emotionally unavailable, when I prioritized work over our relationship, when I failed to make her feel valued. Maybe Emily's affair was her desperate attempt to find the connection she craved, a connection I had failed to provide. I reconnected with old friends, built new relationships, and immersed myself in activities that brought me joy. I started volunteering at a local animal shelter, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the time for. The unconditional love from the animals was therapeutic and helped me heal. But there was no new love story for me. About a year after the divorce was finalized, I was still alone. I met a few women, but none of the relationships went anywhere. I found myself comparing them to Emily, questioning if I would ever be enough for someone again. Looking back, getting cheated on and losing everything was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But it also led to the most profound personal growth I've ever experienced. I learned to prioritize my well-being, discovered new passions, and eventually found love again. Emily's betrayal was a catalyst for change, and while I wouldn't wish that pain on anyone, I came out stronger on the other side. Revenge was satisfying, but redemption was life-changing. Emily's downfall served as a reminder that actions have consequences, but my journey taught me that true strength comes from within. I learned to let go of the past and embrace the future with an open heart. The man I am today is a result of the trials I faced and the resilience I found within myself. But as time passed, I realized that maybe the happy ending I thought I deserved was never going to come. Emily had moved on, rebuilding her life in another city, while I was still haunted by the ghosts of our past. My career stalled, my friendships waned, and the loneliness crept in. In the end, life is unpredictable and often harsh, but it's also full of opportunities for growth and redemption. The pain I experienced was immense, but it forced me to confront my own weaknesses and emerge stronger. I've learned that forgiveness, while difficult, is essential for moving forward. If you're going through something similar, know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It might be a long and arduous journey, but every step forward is a step toward healing. Embrace the pain, learn from it, and use it to fuel your personal growth. In time, you'll find that the very experiences that broke you can also make you whole again. Thank you for reading my story. Sharing it has been another step in my healing process. If it can help even one person going through a similar situation, then it was worth it. Stay strong and remember that redemption is always within reach. Or maybe, just maybe, some wounds never truly heal, and we're left to carry the scars for the rest of our lives. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below to let me know your thoughts or if you have any questions. And as always, keep exploring and stay awesome. See you in the next video.